Okay. There we go. All right, let's get started. Let's see, I'm gonna want this one to be, I'm gonna break out the calculator real quick. So, 1080 divided by 4 is 270. 1080 divided by 5 is 216. Hey, welcome in, RT. We're just setting up the canvas here. All right. So we're gonna go like 216 by 346. Welcome in, Planet. And thank you for the welcome back. Yeah, I took a healthy break from art, and I found motivation to get back to it. So that's what we're doing now. It hasn't just been pixel art that I've been getting into. I've also been doing some acrylic painting. And actually it was, so my wife signed us up for a class over the holidays where we went and created some guided acrylic artworks, and it was a lot of fun. That kind of spurred me back into the art mode. Hey, Kanata, welcome in. Thank you, thank you. All right, so I've got a palette that I had downloaded off of Low Spec, and it was called, which one of these was it? It was called Fading. It's a nice desaturated color palette here. I'm gonna give that a go for this castle scene. We'll see how it goes. So first I need to save this. We'll just call it castle for now. You've used the palette before? Nice. Yeah, it kind of jumped out at me. I never quite know how a palette is going to work out though until I start playing with it. All right, I also found this script that automatically creates time lapses of your work, and it's been great. I'll try and put a link to it in the description of the stream once it's over. But basically, you start the script, and it will just kind of run in the background and make a flattened image every time you do an action. And then at the end, you can load all of those flattened images into a GIF, which is a time lapse. All right, to start with, I'm just going to do some line work just to kind of figure out the composition of things here. So we'll go like, maybe like right here is going to be There's going to be a lake in front of this here. There's going to be like some foreground bushes here. I think our castle is going to be like in this general area. You need that script. Well, here I can let me search it up for you real quick. It does cost money, but you can also get it for free. But if you do end up using it and find it useful, I think it's a good idea to give money. No. Yeah, it's this record for Aseprite. I'm gonna throw the link into chat here. It's been really helpful. And at first I was kind of worried that it was going to be resource intensive since it's doing a ton of flattened images, but it really isn't noticeable. So this is kind of our castle here. It's going to be something like this. That might be a little bit too big. Too much castle. I like that for now. We're gonna have some like trees that are some biggish trees here. A little bit in the foreground or nearer to the viewer's point of view than the castle. Some more over here, maybe. And then we're gonna have a lot of room for some sky. There's also like some background forest back here that goes back behind the castle. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for, is a fantasy vibe. All right, let's not spend too much time on the lines. New layer. Start with the sky. Let's see, I didn't even think about which of these colors we're going to use for the sky here. Maybe these kind of reddish colors would be good. The more saturated orangey red color. We'll give it a try here, see how it goes. Do our gradient tool. Well, first I'm going to kind of mark off a spot where the sky is going to start. I do want this to be pretty dark towards the sky, so maybe we can mix in some stars and things. Can we get darker yet? Maybe into some of this bluey. Wonder if I should change the gradient part way to something cooler. Maybe we'll try that. I'm gonna try changing to the blues as we go here. Oops. I kind of like that. That works for now. And you know me, I like to screw up the dithers so they're not so perfect. Yeah, I think this will be good for now. We'll end up covering a lot of this, so I think there's got to be some clouds, some wispy clouds are a good fantasy vibe. Let's move our lines up in front of our sky here. Let's see, what would be next? I think we'll put in the far trees. Maybe we'll start with just blocking in some of this color here. Just gonna squiggle. Nobody has to know about that. I like the desaturate-ness of the distant trees. I think we're gonna run into some problems with our focal point stuff though, since we don't really have any saturated colors. You like the sky from the Bob Ross pixel art style video? Yeah, those are... I did a lot of Bob Ross's for a while. I'm gonna have to get back into some of those. It's been a while since I've gone to 2-inch brush. I used to go to 2inchbrush.com has all of the Bob Ross paintings there is alongside fan reproductions of his paintings, which is really, really fun to see. But I'd use those as reference for the pixel art. We'll throw the castle in next, just kind of block it in for now. Let's see, what are we going to use for these colors? Just try and kind of rough it in here. What's a little darker than this is... And what's darker yet? Maybe this will be the... We're going to have our source of light coming from this side, the left side. So we'll just kind of rough it in here, come back to refine it later. I think those will be decent colors there. This is going to be kind of that, kind of that. There will be lots of times when I accidentally use the paint bucket tool. Did it again. Accidental paint bucket. Hey, Warlock, welcome in. Maybe make the focal point use warm colors and the surroundings cool colors. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I've never really had any formal art training. Let's move these lines out of the way. Watched a lot of YouTube videos though. I like the idea of doing game dev, and I've done some programming before, but I have yet to invest the time to actually make a game. But I'd like to. Someday. In all my free time that doesn't really exist. We'll work with this later. Oh, thank you, Warlock. Yeah, I mean, I mainly started doing those as a good reason for me to create pixel art. Like just doing art for art's sake is sometimes a motivation that doesn't last. At least for me. Let's see. This feels fine now. That's gonna be our castle. We'll refine that later on. That'll probably be the most detailed portion of the drawing. And maybe this tree right to the right of it, the this big tree here. What should I pick for the colors of the tree here? We don't have a lot of cool colors. I kind of want the tree to meld in with the castle. Maybe it's part of the focal point of the drawing as well. Let me at least make this. Oh, good. Oh, thank you, Warlock. Plan to get back to it soon. You do it mostly for game dev? Nice. Yeah, I definitely have like a bucket list item to create a game. Not necessarily a game I can sell, but I want it to be a complete game, a playable game. Yeah, same here. I tend to shop around for my hobbies. And by that, whoa, extra zoom there. And by that I mean I get interested in different things along the way. I've done woodworking. I've done non-digital art. One thing I still do a lot of is video games, playing video games. I do speed running over on my Twitch channel. These are like some bushes here. And then there's like some grasses on the edge of the lake. We're gonna have another tree over here. Maybe this one's a little more patchy. Something like that. My Twitch channel is Crit Rocket Runner. I'll put a link here. Some of my favorite games, so it's all old school NES games that I play. Rygar is one of my current games I'm enjoying. Let's see here. I'm gonna not select everything. Thank you very much. Select this area and create our lake layer here. I'm just gonna plop in a single color for now. Yo, Crypty, welcome in. I'm happy to hear that. And then we're gonna have some foreground stuff here. I'm kind of debating on how vivid the foreground is, or I might just do like a real dark version of the foreground foliage, like you're peering through a, because this does kind of lend itself to a sunset. Well, for now, we're just gonna create a new layer and call it foreground foliage. And we'll just kind of, I'm thinking it's gonna be dark. All right, we got our basic composition here. Let's see, so we'll probably, like the lake is gonna end up being the last thing because we'll use what we do in some of these other layers to create the lake's reflection. Might just start in the sky because the sky is going to dictate kind of how the lighting works, and I'm not quite sure what that's going to look like yet. So Warlock asks, without formal art training, how do you get around work with concepts like perspective and forms? Well, I make a lot of mistakes. I know a lot of times it's just kind of like using the little bit of high level training I've gotten from YouTube videos and just figuring out what feels right. Because I can do something and then maybe come back to it a while later and I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't look right. And those are little learning moments, I guess. We're gonna have there be like some real distant clouds in the scene here. I'm drawing on the wrong layer again. Nobody ever does that, right? Hey, Shirley, I use a mouse. I do have a drawing tablet, but I'm just terrible with it. I'm also left-handed, which makes, like, drawing tablets are made for a right-handed world. Yeah, trial and error for sure. Yeah, I'll get the layers wrong. Yeah. Once you have a good understanding of the tools of your program, though, it's usually pretty easy to fix those layer mistakes. I wonder if I should attempt some some clouds kind of mid-sky. I mean, it wouldn't really be a fantasy painting without some clouds, right? Man, it's been a long time since I've done clouds. Yeah, for some reason I can use a mouse with my right hand just fine, but using a drawing tablet with my left hand just feels wrong for some reason. Y'all are gonna really see me struggle through some clouds here. Because it's been years since I've done clouds. We'll see how it goes. I think this could work out okay, maybe. I'm also left-handed, Warlock. It's kind of the idea I've got, Kanata. Wait, what am I doing here? I think our light source is gonna be coming from down here. So I think I've got the shading wrong on the clouds. But what I can do is we'll just take this color and replace. And then we'll go back and... Is this the color I was using? I think it was this. This is gonna bleed in to the background. Might have to use some of this here. I mean, that's a little much. Isn't it? Maybe we'll just leave a little bit of it along the edge. Use this lighter color for most of it. It's looking somewhat cloud-like. Kind of like some of these areas where it blends in with the background. I'm gonna try a little more of that. Gonna take a little bit of the heat off of this darker color. Just reduce the volume of it a little bit, see if that strikes my fancy. I think it's a good enough start anyway. Okay. Now the next one's going to be a little higher up over here. I think I'm going to still start with this color. Thank you, Kanata. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, there it is. There's that sneaky gap. No? Ah. Thank you, Warlock. I kind of like the idea of, let's go back to this sky layer. What if we have like a sunset poking through behind? Needs to be bigger. That might be too big. I'm gonna go with it for now, though. Back to the clouds. Sometimes I get distracted. Another really useful Aseprite shortcut is to control click on a layer and it will select that entire layer. For some reason it doesn't always work if you're already selected on a layer, so you have to like move to a different layer and then control click the layer you want to select and then move back to it. Just an easy way. Could be a mushroom cloud. You're right. Who knows what's happening in this fantasy land? Wizards might have nukes. You don't know. Could be. Could be a thing. You have to say I'm enjoying this color palette. It's pretty rad. As a warlock, I can certainly say we do like our explosions. I like those clouds. So I found this color palette on lowspec.com, which is a good resource for all things pixel art. But what was it called? One second. It was called Fading. Let me see if I can find the link to it. Yeah, here it is. Created by Surreal Ember. I always like to give people credit for the palettes, because that's not an easy task. I tend to screw up when I try and create my own palettes. All right, let's get back into the sky a bit here. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a dip here. I want to get rid of some of this. Give us some room for some stars up above. Maybe even a moon. Usually just do 1-bit pixel art. I love that. I always enjoy it when I tackle doing 1-bit pixel art, and I really enjoy seeing other people's 1-bit pixel artwork as well. All right, what do we have here as far as colors available for stars? I think we'll just stick with our sky colors here. Just using the spray brush tool. I don't want to go too overboard with the stars in this one. But I do like to make areas of more concentrated stars. I think that's good to leave it there. Should I do like a moon? Kinda wanna do a moon. Little moon or big moon? We'll do little moon. Let's see. I'm gonna try maybe using some of these blue-green colors. Let's see, our sun is down here, so the bright parts of the moon are gonna be on this bottom edge. This is gonna be our... We don't really have a darker green. That's fair. That's fair. I could try maybe this color. Is that too much? Might be a little bit. But if we can go through here with this color now, I think we might be okay. So what I'm gonna do here is create a dithering brush by creating this little pattern and then Control B to create a new brush out of that. And then I can just kind of mix these together here. You can even change the colors of these brushes as you go. Makes it pretty straightforward. That's kind of fun. Kind of a fun moon there. Make a few little imperfections in the face of it here. I kind of want to do a tiny bit of brighter edge lighting. I'm not sure what color is going to be good here. Only picking this color because that's what we used for the stars, but I don't know how I feel about it yet. Let's try some other colors. I've got this. That's probably more fitting there. I don't want it to take too much of focal. I don't want people to look at it too much. It's part of the background. I don't know what else to call this. We're gonna have a comet. That's probably a good idea. I was about to call it sky things. Sky trails, yeah. All right, let's call that sky good for now. May come back to it a little while later. Maybe work on the far trees now. Let's remove our mid-ground trees. All right, so our sun is coming in at a low angle, which should make for some pretty defined shadows. What are we going to use for that? Let's try and be as messy as we can here. And then there's going to be a spot like maybe halfway down where everything below is going to be the darker color. I'm going to draw that in the rest of the way here. We need some more of the darkness here. The darkness. And then we might have some like brighter edge lighting for these trees. Just a bit. Just a bit. Edgy. I'm drawing on the castle layer. There we go. What are we gonna use for our pops of light? This may not even show up too much, but that's okay. We're right in front of the sun here. Yeah, I think this is working out pretty good. I agree with you there, Warlock Ape. One of those things where you got to make sure and zoom out and take a look at what you're doing amid the entire composition to see how you feel about it then, rather than as you're zoomed in. These are a little mountain looking. Gonna add some extra tree tops here. All right, that works for me. Yeah, the preview is super handy as well. I always make sure I have that. All right, let's dig into this castle a little bit. So first off, we're gonna have to what am I doing? Why isn't it erasing here? It's because half my castle is on another layer. Cool. Cool. Yeah, it would make a lovely stamp. Hey, Cheyenne Inks. Sorry if I butchered that name. Welcome in. I appreciate those kind words. Yeah, I think we put our part of our castle onto the wrong layer once again. Now it should be on the correct layer. Hey, take it slower. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. You guys are gonna definitely make sure that I stick with it for a while this time. All your kind words. I do appreciate that. Sometimes these castles have asymmetric towers. I mean, and this tower right here is probably one of the most important parts of the composition, is it sits right in front of the sun. I don't like how it looks in the postage stamp. We're gonna try a more traditional tower shape. What are these things called? Parapets or something? I might be making that up. Now that we've got our sky figured out, it doesn't make sense for this to be in shadow right there. The darkest part is going to be right on this side, facing us, the viewer. Us, dear viewer. Hey, Hypnos, how are you doing? Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I'm gonna have to crank out another tutorial video soon. The thing that's nice about the tutorial videos is they're usually really simple compositions that go really quickly, and I enjoy a good, quick, messy drawing. Let's get this whole cylinder fleshed out here. As we get below the tree line, we're going to end up having a darker bottom to this tower here. Parapets. That's what it is. Thank you. I want to keep that. Maybe we'll dither out from the sides here. I kind of want to start the dithering earlier, so I'm gonna move this in. It's the wrong way. Kind of like that. Manual dither. Watch out. Hey, Shane. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see here. I need to figure out kind of what this piece of the castle is going to end up looking like. I think this is going to end up being more this color. I'm not even sure what this part of the castle is. But we'll figure it out. I think this is just going to be a kind of a square portion of the outer castle wall. It might, if we put like some windows in it, maybe it will seem more realistic. I don't know, I think I'm gonna have to end up futzing with this a lot. Unfortunately, maybe that's not our darkest color. This could be the entrance to the castle. We're kind of in a small enough canvas size for this that we can't get too much detail going. This is tough. It doesn't really make sense to light it this way given how it's facing the sunset. But I don't want the majority of the castle to be all dark. We'll just do it up and figure it out later. Whoops, whoops. I might be able to do some more trickery with some transparent layers to put like some beams of light over coming around these things, which would be totally part of the fantasy vibe. Yeah, that could also be part of it. Maybe some bounce lighting off of the lake. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I think we ran out of music. I'll just repeat it. This is all my music that I've used in my videos in the past. Mainly because it's safe for YouTube. It's not my music. I did not make it. This one right here is the princess's bedroom up top here. I am not a musical person. My brother got all of that talent. My younger brother is a saxophone player and a music teacher. Yeah, dividing up the arts and talents. I am gonna have to stop here pretty soon and get some lunch. I'm in the Pacific time zone. We're coming right up on noon. Wonder what it will look like if I shot some darker and lighter bricks around these sides. That's what castles do, right? They're kind of old and unkempt. I kind of like that. It's evening for you all. Well, if I do end up making a more consistent stream schedule, it probably will be Fridays, like late AM time. So right around this time, maybe you start 10 AM Pacific on Fridays. Kind of the plan so far. I'm gonna go after I eat some lunch though. I'm gonna do some gaming over on my Twitch channel. Seems like a good spot to leave it for now. I think this one, the lighting will make a little more sense since we are a little bit off to the right side of the sun. I may end up shrinking the sun down. That will probably make things make more sense. Or I could move it over a little. Let's just try that real quick. Kind of wish I would have made the sun a different layer. Mushroom clouds, no! That's just moving the entire thing. Yeah, this would require a lot of fixing. But it could be like lower in the sky over here. That's a thought. That's a thought. I'm gonna leave it for now. Leave it for now. Call it good for today. I am planning on putting together a time lapse for this and uploading it to the channel, probably as a short, whenever I get it done. Hopefully this weekend. But I appreciate everybody stopping by and hanging out. Hope you had a good time today. I sure did. And I hope to see you next time. Good night.